Hi everyone, No Makeup here, the internet's busiest music nerd. And it's time for a review of the new Adele record, 25. UK soul and pop singing sensation, Miss Adele, with her long-awaited follow-up to her fantastic breakout album 21, came out about several years ago at this point. The album saw unforeseen success and continued success as it went on to sell millions and millions and millions of copies. And Adele and her label really squeezed every last drop out of this hype with some live material, interviews and magazine covers, but eventually Adele slinked away into the shadows to kind of live her life, have a child, and presumably create this new record. Now, there was not a whole lot of PR hubbub leading up to the release of this new album over here. We had a debut single, Hello, with a music video, and just like about a month later, we're getting this record. And I respect that. I respect that lack of BS. It says to me that Adele and her label, in a way, they trust the fans to try the record, to listen to the record, to have faith that the record will be good, it'll be decent. We don't need to be mercilessly teased to the release of the album. Just give us a track, let us know the album's coming out, and give us the album! But Adele and her label are also trusting music listeners to not stream this record because it is not on any streaming platforms. It is only available for sale. Make that money. So I myself bought this thing right away, had to hear it, and so let's get into the credits. If you're at all familiar with some of the producers, some of the co-songwriters on Adele's last record, there are some familiar faces here, like Ryan Tedder and Paul Epworth. And we also see co-writing appearances from a lot of different artists, like Tobias Gesso Jr., who seems to have been having a really great year, Bruno Mars, and even Greg Kurstin of The Bird and the Bee, who has been writing more and more often with a myriad of different pop singers. And we even have Max Martin making an appearance on this record, who was behind the success of tons of different pop sensations of the 2000s, really kind of reaching back into the past on that appearance. A lot of the co-writers also have producer credits on this thing, but one producer credit that stuck out to me was that Danger Mouse appears on this record, which is pretty crazy. Whatever, I'm digressing. Let's just get into the music. The song Hello, the lead single from this record, actually kicks the album off, and if you didn't know, I already did a review of this track, but in summation, I thought the lyrics on this song were cool. They definitely told an interesting story of heartbreak and kind of missing someone, longing for someone. I loved Adele's vocals. I liked the tune on this track, but I think the ball was kind of dropped on the production side of things. The instrumentation just seemed way too glamorous and glitzy. It didn't really support Adele's vocals, especially on the hook, which I think could have just blossomed or exploded with a bit more intensity. So honestly, even though I didn't go into this album expecting any lack of vocal talent from Adele, I was worried that the production might end up being subpar. And the song Send My Love doesn't exactly alleviate this production problem. There's some very hopeful piano chords on this thing. Vocally, Adele kills it. The verses are emotional, nuanced, and just as memorable and catchy and sticky as the choruses, where, of course, it's memorable, but what really makes the choruses win for me is not just a really great melody, but Adele's singing, where she's really digging down and her voice gets a little raspy. She's reaching into her upper range. She's just digging into that vocal diamond mine and just throwing gems up. And I think the lyrics might have you grabbing for a Kleenex or two if you know, you're missing that special someone. A little later we have I'll Be Your Remedy. I love this track. It's simple, it's intimate, vocals, piano. For an artist as talented as Adele, you don't need much more. It's a great ballad, it's a great performance, and in this simple instrumental setup, Adele can really let loose vocally and show to the listener what it is that makes her unique and makes her interesting as an artist. Lyrically, there are a lot of metaphors on this track and other tracks too that seem like, you know, very tried and true from older pop and vocal and soul music. Stuff like singing about the rain and hearts being cut and the night and lights and rivers. Sadly, that organic, fluid, intimate feel to the instrumentation drifts away for another few tracks, like on the song Water Under the Bridge, where I think it's a winning chorus. I think the chorus is the only salvageable moment of this song, but the instrumental, we get this really tight galloping beat, these diddling guitars that are just so tight it's almost militaristic and sucks the soul from the song entirely. Thankfully, the song River Lee takes a bit of an older approach. The instrumental here sounds like something just vintage, just pulled down from New Orleans or something. Really nice organ on this track, some twanged guitars as well, and as the song develops, a really large and in-charge string section. It sounds like the whole thing is being performed at once in a huge grand concert hall or something. And I can't really shake the idea that I'm getting a little bit of like a Stevie Nicks vibe from this track as well. I think the song Love in the Dark is equally as powerful, but it's really the subtle moments on this record that win me over the most, like on the song Million Years Ago, which is this wonderful, quiet, sad, and just so close vocal piece backed up with beautifully picked guitar. It's like this very dimly lit, just candlelit dance with depression, or a dance with a broken heart. The lyrics on this track detail a ton of regret coming from Adele and obsession with being with this person who she can't be with. The song All I Ask right after is equally as heartbreaking, but what kind of I don't know, it ruins the vibe of the record for me is really the closer, which to me is the combo breaker to the continual sadness of this album. Sweet Devotion is very much an uplifting song, and not only does it kind of kill the mood, the very sad mood, a little bit, but it's almost as if, like I was saying earlier, the songs have been building up a bit of a narrative or a story that I was slowly starting to piece together as the album was progressing, but all of a sudden, we're getting Sweet Devotion, and things are cool now. This track essentially smashes the sadness sandcastle that's been built up to this point, and it's like, here's some feel-good emotions, stick that in your pipe, and smoke it. I still like the record, though. I think it's a very good record. In summation, here are my thoughts. It was enjoyable, the vocals were great, the songs for the most part were great as well. There were some moments where I had my reservations with the production, where it just felt a little bland, a little flat, a little too tight and commercial to really just let Adele's vocals do the work. I don't think it's a disappointment or anything like that, but it definitely does not surpass 21. But it feels to me that Adele didn't even really feel any sort of pressure to top 21. This record has tunes, it has lyrics, it has great performances, it has fantastic singing, it has musical and stylistic variety as well, and I'm feeling a decent to strong 7 on this thing. Transition. Have you given this album a listen? If you have, what did you think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? What do you think I should review next? And that's it. Anthony Fantano, Adele, forever.